The glow of a phone screen lit up the nursery like a ghostly lantern. Amelia adjusted the camera, making sure the angle was perfect. Her baby boy, Noah, slept soundly in his crib, one tiny fist curled against his cheek. The video was short, just 30 seconds of his peaceful breathing, but she knew it would do well. Babies always did. The algorithm loved innocence. "Say goodnight to my angel," she whispered to the phone before hitting upload. Within minutes, the notifications chimed. Likes, shares, comments. Strangers adored him. Strangers wanted more. At first, it felt harmless. Amelia was a young, single mother, and the attention gave her validation she hadn't felt in months. Companies reached out with offers, baby clothing lines, toy brands. The money trickled in, enough to cover bills and buy nicer things for Noah. She convinced herself it was worth it. But Noah began to change. He startled more easily at night, crying at shadows in the corner. His once heavy sleep grew restless, his eyes darting beneath his lids as though he dreamed too vividly. Some nights, he'd wake screaming at something behind Amelia, pointing with a trembling hand. She'd turn nothing, always nothing. Still, Amelia kept posting. One evening, as she edited footage of Noah laughing in his high chair, she noticed something strange. In the background reflection of the window, just for a blink, another figure stood. A tall, dark outline behind her, too close to the crib. She gasped, paused the video, rewound, and froze the frame. The figure had no face. Her chest tightened. She deleted the clip immediately, but the comments kept piling in. Who was that in the background? Does anyone else see the shadow? Protect your baby. Amelia didn't sleep that night. Every creak of the old house made her jump. She clutched Noah close, rocking him in the dim light until dawn. The next morning, she swore she heard whispering from the baby monitor. A low, rhythmic chant, not in English, not in any language she knew. She unplugged the monitor and shoved it in a drawer, her hands shaking. But when she checked her phone, her stomach dropped. A new video had been uploaded to her account. She hadn't posted it. The footage showed Noah sleeping, filmed from a high angle, as if from the ceiling. His crib was surrounded by shadows, long and reaching. And at the very end, the camera tilted down toward him, closer, closer, until Noah's eyes shot open, directly staring into the lens. Amelia screamed and dropped the phone. That was the first night she realized. She wasn't the only one posting her baby anymore. Amelia sat frozen on the nursery floor, the phone buzzing against the wood as more notifications poured in. Her mind reeled. She hadn't recorded that video. She hadn't touched the camera. But the footage was there, uploaded to her account, captioned in words she never wrote. "He's not yours to keep." Her blood ran cold. She grabbed Noah and fled the room, retreating to the living room where the morning light seeped through the curtains. For hours, she watched him, refusing to look at her phone, refusing to let him out of her sight. By noon, exhaustion crept in. She rocked him gently until his cries softened into shallow breaths. Her eyelids grew heavy. Just a few minutes of rest, she told herself. When she woke, Noah was gone. Her heart nearly stopped. She bolted upright, frantically scanning the room. His blanket was crumpled on the couch where she swore she'd left him, but he wasn't there. "Noah?" Her voice cracked, desperate. A soft giggle echoed down the hallway. She raced toward the sound, her pulse hammering. At the end of the hall, Noah sat in the middle of the nursery floor, playing with a toy she didn't remember buying. A wooden rattle carved with strange symbols, its edges rough as if made by hand. His tiny fists shook it with delight. Amelia's breath hitched. She hadn't put him there. And then her phone buzzed. A notification. Another upload. Hands trembling, she opened the app. A new video had appeared. The same footage she just witnessed in real life. Noah vanishing from the couch as if invisible arms lifted him. His blanket falling. Her own sleeping face behind him. The perspective was wrong, impossibly high, as though someone, or something, watched from the ceiling corners of her home. Her skin crawled. She deleted the video, but the likes and comments kept multiplying. Messages flooded in. "That toy doesn't belong to him. Don't you know what the rattle means? They've chosen your child. With shaking hands, Amelia typed a reply. What does it mean? Who are they? No answer. Instead, her phone flickered. The screen went black, then flashed an image, her own reflection in the front-facing camera, Noah in her arms. Only in the reflection, her face wasn't hers. Her eyes were hollow, her skin pale, her mouth stretched into a grin too wide, too cruel. She screamed and dropped the phone again. Noah began to cry, as if he too had seen it. She clutched him tight, whispering, "You're mine. They can't have you. They can't." But in the corner of the nursery, the shadows deepened, stretching toward the crib, and the rattle in Noah's hand shook on its own. That night, Amelia couldn't bring herself to close her eyes. She sat rocking Noah in the nursery, watching the shadows crawl across the walls as the wind rattled the old windows. Every time Noah stirred, the rattle rolled closer to his tiny hand, as though it belonged to him and not to the house. By dawn, she'd had enough. She carried Noah into the kitchen and placed him in his high chair, desperate for a moment of normalcy. She scrolled through her phone again, searching for answers in the flood of comments. Most were nonsense. Some begged her to stop posting, but a few sounded too specific. One account caught her eye at the watcher in the woods. The comment read, "The toy is an offering. If you keep posting him, they'll take what's owed." Her fingers shook as she typed back, "Who are they?" The reply came instantly. "Spirits older than your bloodline. You invited them by showing him. They see through every screen, every lens. Stop now or give him back." Amelia slammed the phone down, her pulse racing. She wanted to believe it was just some sick troll, but deep down she knew. The videos, the shadows, the voices in the baby monitor, they were watching. A sudden crash echoed from the living room. She bolted toward the sound. Noah clutched against her chest. The television had turned itself on, static filling the room. In the snow of the screen, faint shapes moved, thin arms reaching, stretching outward. Then the static shifted, and a video began to play. Her own living room, filmed from the corner of the ceiling. She watched in horror as a shadow leaned over her sleeping form from the night before. Its hand hovered above her chest, then slowly descended toward Noah's crib. "No, no, stop it," she whispered, backing away. The TV flickered again, showing words written in stark black letters. "He is ours." Noah screamed, his tiny hands clinging to her shirt. The wooden rattle fell from his grasp, clattering onto the hardwood floor. The sound echoed far louder than it should have, like a door slamming shut in some unseen place. Suddenly, every light in the house went out. Darkness swallowed the room whole. Amelia's breath came fast, panicked. She fumbled for her phone's flashlight, the beam cutting a narrow path through the black. That's when she saw it. In the doorway stood the same faceless figure from the video. Tall, impossibly thin, its outline rippling like smoke. It didn't move. It only stood there, watching. Noah whimpered, and the rattle began to shake again, without anyone touching it. Amelia clutched him tighter, whispering, "You can't have him. You'll never have him." But in the suffocating dark, the figure tilted its head, as though amused. Amelia backed into the nursery, her flashlight trembling in her grip. The faceless figure lingered in the hall, its presence heavier than the air itself. Noah sobbed against her shoulder, and she whispered desperate promises, though her own voice cracked with fear. The rattle clinked against the floor, rolling slowly toward the crib. Amelia kicked it aside, but it stopped unnaturally mid-spin, then rolled back toward Noah as though pulled by invisible fingers. "No," she hissed. "You can't have him." Her phone buzzed violently in her pocket. Against every instinct, she pulled it out. A new video had uploaded again. Heart pounding, she pressed play. This time, it wasn't her home. It was a dim forest, trees tall and black against a starless sky. In the center, a circle of figures swayed, cloaked in shadows, chanting low and rhythmic. In the middle of their circle was a wooden cradle. Inside it, Noah. Amelia screamed and nearly dropped the phone. The video ended with the same words again. "He is ours." She wanted to throw the device to destroy it, but she couldn't risk losing the only evidence of what was happening. Instead, she rushed to her laptop, opening it with shaking hands. Maybe if she deleted her accounts, if she erased every trace of Noah from the internet, maybe it would end. She clicked delete account. The screen froze. A message appeared instead. Too late. You gave him to us. The laptop slammed shut on its own. Behind her, Noah's cries broke into silence. Amelia spun, terror tightening her chest. He wasn't in her arms anymore. For a breathless second, she thought she'd dropped him. But no, she had been holding him tightly. Now her arms were empty. The rattle clattered on the crib, shaking violently, as though something unseen was taking him away. Amelia lunged, grabbing the toy and clutching it to her chest. "Take me instead," she screamed. Her voice cracked against the silence. "Leave him alone. Take me." The shadows rippled. The faceless figure stepped closer, filling the doorway. And then everything stilled. A voice, not hers, came from the baby monitor she'd shoved into the drawer days before. Deep, guttural, and echoing. "An offering must be kept. You cannot undo the gift. You showed him. You gave him. He belongs." Amelia dropped to her knees, sobbing. The rattle in her hands grew colder, heavier, as if carved from stone. But then, faintly, she heard Noah's cry again. Distant, muffled, as though from behind the walls. She looked at the rattle. The carvings. They weren't random. They were directions. A map. Her only chance to bring him back. Amelia traced her trembling fingers over the strange carvings on the rattle. The symbols weren't random. They twisted together into a crude path, leading deeper than any place she knew. Each line seemed to shift beneath her skin, urging her to follow. Noah's muffled cries came again, this time through the walls, echoing from somewhere beneath the house. She didn't think. She grabbed a flashlight, clutching the rattle like a compass, and forced open the basement door. The air that rushed out was damp and cold, heavy with the stench of earth. Step by step, she descended, her light quivering across stone walls that she swore hadn't been there before. The basement stretched deeper than it ever had, narrowing into a tunnel. Noah's cries guided her forward, echoing louder the farther she went. The rattle's carvings glowed faintly in her palm, illuminating symbols etched into the stone around her. Marks older than language, marks that matched those she'd seen on the screen. Finally, the tunnel opened into a cavern. In the center stood a cradle made of bone and wood, and inside it, Noah. His eyes were wide with fear, his little fists clutching at the air. But around the cradle, the faceless figures swayed in silence, their elongated forms bending like smoke, their hands reaching down but never touching him. Amelia rushed forward, screaming, "He's mine! You can't have him!" The figures stilled. Slowly, they turned toward her, faceless heads tilting. One voice, many voices, echoed together, a sound that rattled her bones. "You showed him. You shared him. Now he belongs to all." Amelia lifted the rattle high, her hands shaking. "Take me instead. I'll give myself. Just let him go." For a long moment, silence hung. Then the shadows pulled back as though considering. The cradle creaked. Noah's cries softened. The rattle grew unbearably hot in her hand. Symbols flared across her skin, searing into her flesh. She screamed but didn't let go. The faceless figures receded into the walls, swallowed by the dark. The cradle dissolved into ash. Noah appeared in her arms again, his warm weight against her chest. She sobbed with relief, kissing his forehead over and over. "I've got you. I've got you." But when she looked at her reflection in the cavern wall's damp sheen, her heart froze. Her face was no longer hers. Her eyes were hollow, her smile stretched too wide. The spirits had kept their bargain. Noah was free, but Amelia belonged to them now. And that night, when her phone lit up, a new video had already been posted. Not of Noah, of her, smiling into the camera with eyes that weren't her own.